Two guys that are both defensive liabilities.
100%.
Man, listen. Man, look. It ain't a person in the world. It ain't a team in the world. It ain't a player in the world that's afraid of Luka and Austin Reaves.
Not one.
Fact, when the play
Kendrick Perkins doesn't hold back, kicking off the debate with a fiery declaration. He labels Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves as defensive liabilities, a scathing assessment for any potential championship contender. But then he drops the real bomb. It ain't a person in the world, it ain't a team in the world, it ain't a player in the world that's afraid of Luka and Austin Reaves. This isn't just criticism, it's a direct challenge to the Lakers' intimidation factor, suggesting their core lacks the defensive bite needed to strike fear into opponents in the cutthroat playoff environment. It immediately sets a confrontational tone for the entire discussion, questioning the very foundation of an unbeatable Lakers lineup. That's a hell of a statement, isn't it? Perkins, known for his unfiltered takes, just lit a fuse under the entire Lakers offseason. Is he out of line? Or is there a kernel of truth in that scorching hot take? The Lakers fan base, accustomed to greatness, demands dominance. They don't just want wins, they want to be feared. For a franchise with such a rich history, the idea that their key players don't inspire dread is a narrative nightmare. This isn't just about individual stats, it's about the psychological warfare of the playoffs. Teams need that edge, that aura of invincibility. If Luka and Reaves are truly seen as defensive weak links, how does that ripple through the Western Conference? Opposing coaches are already drawing up plays targeting them. But is Perkins' assessment universally shared among the league's sharpest minds? Or is it just the first shot fired in a long off-season debate? We're just getting started. What do other analysts think about these liabilities?
Wow, not a team war player in the world that's afraid of Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. Those are some strong words right there by Perk. Vinny, what's your reaction?
Well, he's not wrong when he talks about them being defensive liabilities, which means you have to build a team very specific.
Perkins reiterates his point, emphasizing that not a team or player in the world is afraid of Luka and Austin. The immediate reaction from Vinny, however, gives this bold claim serious weight. He doesn't dismiss it, he validates it. He's not wrong when he talks about them being defensive liabilities, Vinny concedes. This isn't just one person's opinion anymore. It's a shared concern highlighting the fundamental challenge facing the Lakers. You have to build a team very specifically around players with such prominent defensive gaps. The agreement from Vinny amplifies the problem, moving it from a loud take to a strategic reality. It's an inconvenient truth that the Lakers must confront head-on if they hope to achieve their championship aspirations. When two world-class analysts agree on a fundamental flaw, you know it's not just noise. The defensive liability label isn't just a minor critique, it's a structural issue that dictates every other move a team makes. Think about it. If your two primary ball handlers and offensive engines are consistently targeted on defense, the entire team concept shifts. You need elite defenders on the wings, versatile bigs who can protect the rim and switch, and a defensive scheme that requires immense discipline. This isn't an easy fix with a single trade. It's a philosophical rebuild. The pressure intensifies when you consider the Lakers' championship or bust culture. Every decision, every signing, every trade is magnified. So if these two are such liabilities, how could they ever be considered franchise players for a team that demands titles? The question hangs heavy in the air, doesn't it?
Luka and Austin Reaves are y'all franchise players.
Right
We're
on.
talking about a historic franchise that it ain't no in-between when it comes to their fan base. It's either championships or bust.
Perkins doubles down, directly asking, Luka and Austin Reaves, are y'all franchise players right now? This question cuts to the core of the Lakers' identity. He then immediately reminds everyone of the stakes for this historic franchise. It ain't no in-between when it comes to their fan base. It's either championships or bust. This clip perfectly encapsulates the immense pressure. If Luka and Reaves are indeed the future, they must not only perform offensively, but also elevate their defense to meet the championship standard. The fans expect nothing less than banners, not just competitive seasons. This sets a very high bar, making their defensive championships or bust. That's the unofficial motto etched into the very fabric of the Lakers organization. For Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, being tabbed as franchise players comes with an almost impossible weight of expectation. It's not just about being good, it's about being legendary. Every misstep, every defensive lapse will be scrutinized under a microscope. This isn't a rebuilding year, it's always the year for the Lakers. The question then becomes, can a team truly be unbeatable if its two perceived franchise players are consistently under attack on the defensive end? It's a challenge that few duos in NBA history have successfully navigated. But what happens when you throw the ultimate wild card, LeBron James, into this high-stakes mix? How does his presence, or potential absence, reshape everything?
And if we're spinning it into that way, LeBron James, at this stage of his career, can you ask him to be a defensive stopper when he's going to be 42 years old on December 30th? I think that's asking a lot of him. Then that places your three best players as defensive liabilities. The Lakers are in this tough spot because ever since LeBron James got there.
Then he introduces a new critical layer to the defensive dilemma. LeBron James. He poses a stark question. Can you ask him to be a defensive stopper when he's going to be 42 years old on December 30th? This is a sobering reality check. While LeBron is an all-time great, Father Time remains undefeated. Expecting him to shoulder a significant defensive burden at his age is, as Vinny states, asking a lot. This creates a terrifying prospect. If LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reaves are all defensive liabilities, and the Lakers' three best players present a monumental defensive challenge, the tough spot the Lakers are in stems directly from this star-heavy, defensively challenged core, a situation exacerbated since LeBron's arrival. The realization that the Lakers' potentially unbeatable lineup could actually feature three defensive liabilities at its core sends shivers down the spine of any fan. The calculus fundamentally changes. Suddenly, the entire conversation isn't just about Luka and Reaves. It's about the collective defensive identity, or lack thereof, of the team's entire star power. This puts an immense strain on the supporting cast and the coaching staff to devise schemes that can cover such widespread vulnerabilities. Historically, championship teams are built on defensive prowess. So if the Lakers' core is defensively challenged, can they truly contend? It's a question of philosophy, personnel, and perhaps even destiny. That this defensive puzzle is just one piece of the larger, more complex chess match the Lakers are playing with their superstar. What other hidden challenges are lurking beneath the surface?
Free agent-wise, as any other player in the league, and the Lakers' timeline doesn't line up with LeBron's timeline. That's what makes this thing completely tricky, and it doesn't mean it's anybody's fault if LeBron goes elsewhere or the Lakers decide we have to move forward with our franchise player the way that we have to move forward.
Wendy, what say you?
Then he highlights the crux of the Lakers' current predicament. The Lakers' timeline doesn't line up with LeBron's timeline. This is a profound and often overlooked challenge in managing superstar talent. LeBron, despite his age, continues to perform at an elite level, extending his window of contention far beyond what was expected. Meanwhile, the Lakers are trying to build for a sustainable future, developing younger talent like Luka and Reaves. This creates a painful divergence. Do you cater to the immediate demands of an aging legend, or do you prioritize the long-term health of the franchise? It's a now-in scenario that could see LeBron go elsewhere or the Lakers move forward without him. This timeline mismatch is the tricky part. A silent ticking clock dictating their every move. The timeline mismatch is the silent killer for many NBA dynasties. LeBron's unprecedented longevity is a blessing and a curse. While he continues to defy age, his presence casts a long shadow, demanding immediate contention and often forcing short-sighted moves. The Lakers are caught between loyalty to a legend and responsibility to their future. Do they sacrifice youth and draft capital to chase one more ring with LeBron? Or do they risk alienating him by focusing on the development of Luka and Reaves? It's a high-wire act with immense consequences. Every decision becomes a referendum on the franchise's direction. But it's not just about the macro timeline. There are specific roster gaps that demand immediate attention, regardless of who's leading the charge. What's the most glaring, undeniable hole in this unbeatable lineup?
Williams. That just gets forgotten. They knew the day they traded for Luka that they needed backline help. Last year, their major free agent move, I realize it wasn't an enormous splash. They didn't have a lot of money to spend, but their major free agent move was going and getting Deandre Ayton. That didn't work out great. They still won over 50 games and got to the second round. It wasn't a disaster.
Wendy immediately points to a glaring, long-standing issue: backline help and interior defense. She reminds us that the Lakers knew this the day they traded for Luka, subsequently trading for Mark Williams. This isn't a new problem. Then she drops a critical name: Deandre Ayton. The Lakers' major free agent move last year was acquiring him, yet that didn't work out great. This is a significant revelation. If a player like Ayton, brought in specifically to address interior defense, failed to solve the problem, it underscores the depth of the issue. Even winning 50 games and reaching the second round doesn't mask the persistent need for defensive anchors. The Ayton experiment's lukewarm results highlight a critical, unresolved weakness. The Ayton revelation is a bitter pill to swallow. After all the hype surrounding his acquisition, his inability to work out great as the defensive anchor reveals a deep-seated structural problem. It's not just about plugging in a warm body, it's about finding the right player to complement Luka and Reaves. The Lakers' continuous struggle with interior defense is baffling for a team with championship aspirations. Can you truly claim an unbeatable starting five if your opponents consistently feast in the paint? This isn't a small detail. It's a foundational weakness that can unravel an entire playoff run. Every great team has a defensive identity, a rim protector, an enforcer. The Lakers are still searching. But while some point fingers at defensive liabilities, others argue that one of those liabilities is actually a playoff beast. Who are they talking about?
The Clippers, and they did not, nobody gave them a chance there, and they had a fight with them, right? And you look at going to the finals, nobody expected them to go to the finals. Luka Doncic is a playoff competitor. He outperforms. So if there is a risk to say, hey, I want to play Luka in the first round. He is going to either beat you or he's going to give you a heart attack along the way because he is just that good. So I would not seek them out in any series.
Then he directly contradicts Kendrick Perkins' earlier assertion that teams aren't afraid of Luka. He argues that every year that Luka Doncic has been in the playoffs, he's outperformed his playoff expectations. Then he cites Luka's game winner against the Clippers and their improbable run to the finals as proof of his clutch, big game ability. He concludes, Luka Doncic is a playoff competitor. He outperforms. So there's a risk to say, hey, I want to play Luka in the first round. This provides crucial counter-narrative, suggesting that while Luka might have defensive flaws, his offensive brilliance and clutch play in the postseason make a dangerous opponent. It directly challenges the no-fear narrative and adds complexity to the Lakers' unbeatable potential. This is where the debate truly heats up. Vinny's spirited defense of Luka's playoff prowess directly clashes with Perkins' defensive liability critique. Is Luka a flawed superstar, or is he simply a player whose offensive brilliance outweighs his defensive shortcomings, especially when the stakes are highest? Playoff Luka is a different beast, capable of single-handedly winning games. That's a dangerous proposition for any opponent, regardless of his defensive inefficiencies. It forces teams to decide, do you try to exploit his defense and risk him dropping 40 on your head? Or do you concede his brilliance and try to stop everyone else? It's a fascinating dilemma, but even with Luka's undeniable talent, the Lakers still face significant roster challenges beyond just finding a reliable center. What other pieces are desperately needed to make this team truly unbeatable?
Because he's a wing athlete, can you figure out a number that makes sense for him? Can you find the big? Remember, they were in the Walker-Kessler sweepstakes, but Utah decided not to move him. They know exactly what they need, but it doesn't mean you're going to find it. It doesn't mean that it's out there. It doesn't mean that you have the resources to acquire it, in large part because you also don't know where you sit with LeBron James. You can always...
Then he outlines the Lakers' ongoing struggle to acquire specific pieces. He emphasizes the need for a wing athlete and the big, reminding us of their failed pursuit of Walker-Kessler. This isn't just about identifying needs. It's about the harsh reality of acquiring them. They know exactly what they need, but it doesn't mean you're going to find it. It doesn't mean that it's out there. It doesn't mean that you have the resources to acquire it. This is a critical dose of realism. Knowing what you need and being able to get it are two entirely different things, especially when resources are tied up and your biggest star's future is uncertain. The Lakers' unbeatable starting five is a work in progress, and the pieces aren't just sitting on a shelf waiting to be picked up. The blunt reality check from Vinny is a cold shower for any Lakers fan dreaming of an unbeatable lineup. It's a stark reminder that even a big market team with star power faces limitations. The constant search for wing defense and a reliable big man has plagued them for seasons. Every team knows what they need, but the market often dictates who gets what. The Walker-Kessler sweepstakes reveal how close they came, and yet how far they still are. This isn't fantasy basketball, it's the cutthroat business of the NBA. But amidst all this talk of deficiencies and unmet needs, one voice offers a radically different perspective, suggesting the Lakers might not be in as dire a straits as everyone else believes. What's the counter-argument for their situation?
They're not desperate. They won 52 games last year. They have Luka Doncic. He's in his prime. They play in Los Angeles. They have $50 million in cap space. They have 3 tradable first-round picks. Yeah, they're going to have to do some work. They're not desperate. Who knows what would have happened last year if Luka was healthy? Coming down the stretch of the season, they look like one of the...
Whitney offers a starkly contrasting perspective, asserting with conviction. They are not desperate. He rattles off a list of compelling reasons. 52 wins last year, Luka Doncic in his prime, playing in Los Angeles. $50 million in cap space, and 3 tradable first-round picks. This is a powerful counter-narrative to the prevailing doom and gloom. He argues that with Luka healthy, they look like one of the most dangerous teams in the West. Whitney's analysis shifts the focus from their current flaws to their inherent assets and potential. It's a breath of fresh air, suggesting that while work is needed, the Lakers possess the foundational pieces and resources to become unbeatable, if they play their cards right. This directly challenges the previous concerns and offers a glimmer of hope. Whitney's confidence is a stark contrast to the earlier anxieties. Not desperate is a powerful statement for a team under such scrutiny. His points about Luka's prime, cap space, and tradable picks highlight a pathway forward, a potential roadmap to building that unbeatable roster. It's easy to get caught up in the immediate challenges, but Whitney reminds us of the underlying strengths that many teams would kill for. The Lakers still have immense leverage. They don't have to panic. They can be patient, strategic. But wait, if they're so well positioned, why is their biggest superstar seemingly disengaged? Why is LeBron James, the cornerstone of their franchise, playing golf instead of negotiating his future?